YouTube. Welcome back. Nice to have you with us. And today we're talking about the news and the rise and fall of a giant. Oh boy, do we have a lot of stuff for you today. So in today's video, we're going to talk a lot about Evergrande and the implications of the collapse of this giant real estate developer and the potential for the global recession that the implication could have. Also on house prices all over the world. How much did you pay for your house just lately? Yeah, well, let's see if it's going to go down. So, important news in finance, crypto, and stocks that affect our day-to-day interactions with finance, because being in the know is what makes a difference. And the entire world business is only a numbers game. So learn the game and play it better than everybody else. Welcome to our subscribers, and to everybody, thanks for joining us again tonight in our live show. Normally we do this on Monday night, but I had to work yesterday, so here we are on Tuesday night. And thank you to those that have liked, and if you hit that little bell, you'll get notification of when our videos go up. And leave us a comment. We'd like to know what you like, what you think we're doing. Maybe we're crazy. We'd like to know. Yeah, what are you investing in? Tell us. All right, so today I am so excited because we have a new guest, and she is going to be one of the associates here on Monday night. So Rachel, welcome. Nice to have you with us on our Monday night news show together. She's much better looking than me. Don't you agree? Yeah, so Rachel, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where are you, what you doing.
Sure. Hi, guys. My name is Rachel. I'm really happy to be here. I'm so grateful to learn from Brad, and I look forward to growing together. I love to sing. I take photos in my spare time when I have that. Full-time, I do customer service. So basically, I'm paid to smile for a living. So Brad asked me to bring my smile to this channel and share it with you folks. I'm usually living paycheck to paycheck. So I'm hoping that I can learn a little bit different way to invest and save my money. I'm going to be keeping track of my journey here and recording that for you guys. So there will be more details later on for that.
Yeah. So hopefully even on Friday night, Rachel will do the show, and we're going to see if we can take Rachel from $0 to $100,000 in a year. Do you think we can do it? Well, nice. We're going to see. So stay tuned. So Monday night will be news, and then Rachel will be with us again on Friday night. All right. So starting today, of course, every Monday, we would, normally on Mondays, we would have our live stream show. And don't forget that if you are a subscriber and leave a comment, we are going to be giving away $25. So if you have that Wealthsimple Cash app, by the way, it's down in the comment below in the links, you can get your Wealthsimple Cash. And to one subscriber who leaves a comment there, somewhere around the halfway mark, 7:30 or so, we will pick a random subscriber and you will win $25 cash, okay? But you got to have that Wealthsimple Cash app so we can send it to you. Then also, you will get $10 just for downloading the app, because if you use our link in the description down below, Wealthsimple will give you $10. So you could get free $10, more free money.
I like free money.
You like free money?
I do like free money a lot.
So also I want to say thanks to Craig, who was a comment subscriber last week. Craig, we're going to send you $25 if you have that Wealthsimple Cash app. So we'll get in contact with you and we'll send that money off to you as soon as we find you on Wealthsimple Cash, because you can see all your friends there too, by the way. So, all right. So we'll send that money away to Craig. So congratulations on him for being our winner from last week. So, hey, it's Brad and
Rachel.
And you are listening to Brad's Bread and Butter News Report, because you don't know what you don't know. So what are we talking about today? Well, it's all about Evergrande and the disaster that is beginning to develop. So if you haven't heard about this yet, stay tuned, because you're going to hear about one of the biggest collapses maybe since Lehman Brothers. I don't know. Let's talk a little bit about it. So in this video, we're going to talk about Evergrande, but you have seen in our previous videos that we talk a lot about investing, and especially diversification. Now, in today's case, we're going to show you about over diversification. So we're going to talk a little bit about Evergrande and what happened to them, all right? And how this diversification may end up impacting the global economy. So, Rachel, what do you think about the things that they've invested in? Give us a little list of some things that they've invested in.
Yeah, sure. Evergrande, as Brad said, is a real estate developer in China, but they try to be the biggest and the best at everything. So we're going to take a look below at the diversification of their company. So baby formula, Evergrande bought Koala Dairy, a New Zealand company, and sold it a few years later for $44.8 million. They also invested in a cosmetic and plastic surgery in 2014. They announced the acquisition of a stake in a South Korean cosmetic surgery business. And they announced that they have an estimated revenue of 2.7 USD dollars, per year. In March 2015, Evergrande bought a Hong Kong-based magazine called New Media Group for $122 million. Evergrande in 2014 bought a historic resort in Quebec, Canada called Chateau Montebello, a property of 65,000 acres. That's pretty big.
Yeah, so let me get this straight. They're a real estate company and they're buying all these weird things.
They are.
Okay. All right.
Because who needs baby formula?
Yeah, right.
Everybody does. On the 1st of October, again in 2014, Evergrande announced that they signed a strategic cooperation agreement to enter into the solar panel industry with $15 billion USD to build the biggest and best solar farm in the world at that time, with a capacity of 9.2 gigawatts. Evergrande also bought 2 cinema businesses and acquired land to build 150 cinemas all over China for an estimated value of more than $1 billion USD. And for those just joining, I just wanted to say hi to Cheryl. Thank you for joining. Again, you guys can win $25 through Wealthsimple Cash when you subscribe, like, and comment. At the 30-minute mark of this video, we'll randomly select one comment per live show, and that person will receive $25 through the Wealthsimple app. Just to make sure you download that app so that we can find you on there. And also with the code in the description below, when you download the Wealthsimple Cash app, you can receive $10 free, and that can be received within 3 business days to your bank.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so let's continue here a little bit. So in 2013, Evergrande had a joint venture with Harvard University to build hospitals in China. 2013. The first private clinic wasn't open until 2018. Wow, not very successful. China is one of the most indebted developer, and it's a real estate group, as we've already talked about. And now they've branched out into insurance by acquiring a 50% stake in the loss-making Chongqing-based life insurance group for $617 million US. Are you starting to see the pattern here? Real estate company, yeah. Evergrande paid more than $1 billion USD to develop their own bottled water brand. They even hired actor Jackie Chan to launch and promote the brand, but this endeavor also was not very successful, and they turned around and sold the water bottle business in September of 2016. So not even a good business to
I really like
bottle
his movies,
water.
though.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's a cool guy.
You know, Rush Hour.
Yeah. All right. So in 2015, Evergrande partnered with Alibaba to open Hang 10, which is a Chinese equivalent of Netflix, for those of you that haven't seen China, Hang 10. And that estimate that Evergrande invested around $2 billion USD, of which they lost 1.1 billion in this venture. Folks, we're using the B word here, not millions, billions of money they lost. In March of 2014, Evergrande bought a 5% stake in Beijing's Huji Bank for 546 million USD, but then turned around in July of 2019 and bought a 36% stake in Shenzhen Bank for 1.9 billion USD. You would have thought they did their homework, because after this, they started borrowing money from the Shenzhen Bank. And because in China, you cannot borrow money from a bank where you're doing a financial interest, they ended up and were forced to sell their and their stake in Shenzhen Bank at a loss.
I wonder who gave them the advice on that one.
Yeah, not a lawyer, I would think.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you should watch Brad's Bread and Butter channel.
We should, for sure.
All right. Football. In 2010, Evergrande bought a soccer team from China's second division, and they started pouring money into the players and management. They bought a series of Brazilian players, but the worst deal was they acquired Jackson Martinez for $52 million from the club and paid him a 2-year contract for $15 million each year. After that, Martinez scored only 4 goals in his 2-year career. By the way, that's $20 million per goal. Pretty grand. But it didn't stop there. Evergrande started to build the biggest soccer stadium in the world in the shape of a lotus flower, which is estimated at 1.8 billion USD, bringing the total Evergrande investment in soccer to $4.8 billion.
At least the stadium was pretty.
Yeah. Is it finished? I think we're going to get to that.
I think
it's
so.
not finished yet. So sadly, yeah.
Oh,
In 2014, Evergrande decided to invest massively in agriculture, and they wanted to be the biggest player in the agricultural field. So to achieve this, they started to invest $16 billion in farmland, grain, dairy, and everything else in the U.S. Yeah. Some of it in China and around the world, just to end up turning around and selling everything 2 years later. $16 billion. Wow.
Wow.
All right. Who's next?
So after seeing Elon Musk's success in the electric vehicle business, Evergrande didn't want to miss the boat, and they decided to invest initially $2 billion USD in Faraday Future, a startup from Los Angeles. But later on, they announced that another $23 billion USD would be invested into the Faraday Future, with a goal to open up multiple plants in China and bring the production of electric vehicles to 1 million cars per year in 3 years' time. That's a lot of cars. That is more than all the electric vehicle companies combined. And now, after 3 years, they haven't even produced a single car. Not even one. The bigger investment and venture in Evergrande was the creation of 15 theme parks. These parks were expected to be bigger than Disneyland. Each of these 15 parks were estimated to cost around $7 billion USD for a total of $105 billion. They started the construction, spent a lot of money, and they haven't even completed one of each of these projects. For those who are just joining, again, you'll receive $25 through Wealthsimple Cash within the 30 minutes of this video if you subscribe, like, and comment, and we will randomly select one of the comments to receive this prize.
Hey, Jaron, welcome. Nice to have you with us on our live show tonight. Thanks, buddy. Nice to have you here. All right. Well, let's see what happened with some of these projects from Evergrande. So the massive projects, and as a result of the collapse, what's going on? Well, on the 6th of December, the Chinese government stepped in and they created a risk management committee, and they began to analyze Evergrande's assets. This committee is composed of 9 people, of which 7 people are Chinese government officials, and only 2 from Evergrande management team. So essentially, anytime there's a vote, they will be outvoted. So basically, the Chinese government is controlling the risk management committee. So let's see what some of their decisions have been. Well, 100 billion theme park disaster, as we talked about, there's no decision just yet. They're still trying to decide what they're going to do with that. The 30 billion Evergrande electric car disaster, same thing. There's been no decision on that. However, the Chinese government has seized unfinished Evergrande Stadium that we talked about, that lovely Lotus thing that isn't even finished yet. But they seized all the land around the stadium. So this will end up with 0 money for Evergrande because it's a seizure. So again, they can't get any liquidity from that. China has seized ownership of the Evergrande land. The Chinese city of Chengdu has taken back 2 plots of land from Evergrande. And they actually owned this land for 10 years. But they will get no monetary compensation because it wasn't a sale, it's a seizure. So these 2 plots of lands were huge, 300,000 square meters with an approximate value of 128 million USD. And now all the other cities are looking to follow their example. So since now, the city of Haiku is also taking back a plot of land without any compensation on December 17th. So the EV part of Evergrande had to return all their undeveloped land for the 7 projects worth 203 million to the Chinese government.
Holy cow.
So that's a lot of money. So in the last month, the Chinese government has confiscated 10 plots of land, which Evergrande had actually paid for and owned. So this is very bad news for the creditors because they were hoping to get some of the money back from Evergrande assets. So Rachel, tell us a little bit more. Who is this guy?
Well, Evergrande's billionaire founder, although I'm not sure if he qualifies as a billionaire anymore.
I don't think so.
He faces bankruptcy, and which is really sad because the founder of Evergrande, Hu Kuan-Yan, was born October 9th, 1958, which makes him 63, and he was born into poverty. He built his initial wealth in the steel industry, and then in 1996, he founded Evergrande at the perfect time when real estate was booming and in China. In 2009, he took Evergrande public to trade as $3.50 per share, growing rapidly to $35 per share. Over the next 10 years, Hui Ke-yan was able to take $8 billion USD in dividend stocks. Like, he did really well in the beginning.
He did all right.
And then I don't know what happened. Well, we do know what happened.
It's going to get sad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna get sad.
As of last week, he was under a lot of pressure and forced by his risk management committee and Chinese authority to sell most of his personal assets. So last week, he was forced to liquidate 9.1% of Evergrande's holdings, of which 1.2 billion shares he agreed to sell at $2.23 per share, which is a 19.8% discount from the previous day's closing market price. You with me?
He lost it.
Yeah, he did. And so this is the problem that Evergrande has now, because now everyone knows that they have to sell and they're getting a huge discount for those shares. So, and this creates another problem because people are taking advantage of that because there's not a lot of people who can afford these shares. Sorry. So just to understand the discount and the level of which we have it, he was forced to agree to the price of the $1.2 billion shares, and they had to be sold at $2.23. In January 2021, these shares were worth $17.26, and in 2019, they were at $31.85. But he still owns 67.9% of Evergrande's.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so he still has a little bit
still
of it.
has a lot.
Yeah,
It just depends, I guess, what he has to sell them off for at.
exactly. Or,
if he keeps getting the
try
discount.
and make some good investments,
Yeah.
possibly. He is also in the process of selling 2 of his private jets.
I would like one.
I
don't
was
have
gonna
that
say-
much money.
But I was going to say that first, so
Okay.
that means I get one first.
All right.
So whatever the cheapest one is that I
Okay.
can afford, which is probably not very many. So we'll start there. Anyway, so he's selling these jets, which he bought for around $150 million USD. He sold one for only $40 million, just, money in the bank, and one for $15 million, which is at a third of what he paid for them. So now he also has to sell the pride and joy of his collection, which is an ASG 330 custom made, for which he paid $220 million for, and will probably sell this one at a huge discount also.
So that's a big jetliner that they deck out luxuriously with gold and bedrooms and everything.
So like Kanye's plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got to give that up now.
Oh boy.
Life's tough at the top.
It is. When you
Yeah.
can't afford your private plane anymore, you should probably give up.
Yeah.
Hui Ke-yan raised around $300 million by mortgaging his 3 luxury properties as well, which are in the most expensive area of Hong Kong.
Wow. All right. So what is Evergrande's rescue plan here by China? Well, they currently own 656 million square meters of land, which is the equivalent of 565,000 square kilometers. Do you know how big Toronto is?
No.
Toronto is 630 square kilometers.
So are we talking like Toronto or like GTA?
The GTA.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's a
So
lot.
that's 630 square kilometers. This is 565,000 square kilometers that Evergrande owns.
Wow.
Okay. So like France, the whole country of France is 563,000 square kilometers. And they own more than that.
Holy
Of
cow.
all of this. Okay. So what is Evergrande going to do? Well, they initially borrowed money to buy the land. After they bought the land, they created a development plan. After that plan was created, based on that plan, they borrowed money for construction. But at the same time, they started to pre-sell the future houses according to the plan. So people contracted to buy the house. They had to deposit 50% of the final price of the house. So Evergrande took this money that they borrowed for construction, plus the money from pre-selling the houses, and they started to buy more land. So without even finishing the houses for the poor people, they took their money and bought more land. This is how they ended up with such a big, huge.
They probably should have built some houses first.
Well, the Ponzi scheme is collapsing now.
Apparently.
So they're in big trouble. So most of this debt, of course, is in the form of bonds held by overseas investors. Hang on, Canada. Here it comes. This is where it gets interesting for us. Yeah. So since a lot of people own it, and we're going to give you a list here in a minute, you can't believe this list. So in September, they missed their interest payment of $83 million. And in October, they missed another payment. So it's a total now of $193 million in payments that they are incapable of making. So the management team of Evergrande is working on two possible solutions to create some liquidity. So they're going to try and sell 51% of the property management division for $2.6 billion. The second thing they're going to do is try and sell the Evergrande head office in Hong Kong for $1.7 billion. So if any of these two deals will go through, Evergrande might have enough liquidity to continue making their interest payments. However, Chinese government has said, nope, not going to happen. And they've blocked both of these projects.
So Evergrande can trigger a global recession and a massive house price crash because of a whole $300 billion that's not easy to cover with the global economy, because we just suffered massively for the past 2 years with COVID. And a lot of companies are closing. There's a chip shortage and now inflation. That means this black hole of $330 billion will have a huge ripple effect across the global economy. So let's see right now the top 8 companies who've invested in Evergrande and how much they've invested. So Fidelity Investments invested $450 million. BlackRock invested $443 million. Ashmore Group, $432 million. USB, $277 million. Elias, $210 million.
Allianz.
Oh,
Allianz, yeah.
Allianz. Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
They're big in Canada, by the way.
Oh, what do they do?
They sell insurance and everything.
Oh, lovely.
But in a minute, we're going to talk about this.
Okay. Sorry, we'll continue here.
Yeah.
Prudential, which is $162 million. Royal Bank of Canada, not sure if you use that one. It's $115 million. HSBC Holdings, which is the Bay, I think it is.
Yeah. So just before you go on,
yeah,
people need to understand this.
Yeah.
So Fidelity has a Canadian company.
Okay.
Allianz has a Canadian branch.
Mm-hmm.
Royal Bank, look at the amount of money just in those 3 in Canada alone.
Yeah.
And since China only pays their people first, so these people will probably not get their money.
Oh boy.
How many Canadian pension plans are all wrapped up in those 3 companies we just talked about? So Canada's pension plans are going to be defaulted on because of Evergrande's collapse. So people need to understand this. This is going to have a ripple effect to our economy in Canada and US. Sorry, I wanted to make sure everybody understood.
That's okay. So HSBC Holdings, they have $102 million invested, and all this together totals $2.2 billion out of the $330 billion in debt that Evergrande has. We don't yet have a complete list of all the creditors, but we know that all of them will lose their investment. The Chinese authorities, as you said, have started to seize all unfinished development properties from Evergrande and finish all the houses previously contracted and deliver it to the rightful owners, which is pretty nice, actually. If you buy a house, you're at least going to get your house. The Chinese government doesn't want to have any unrest, and they don't want to dissatisfy the people, because in 2022, it's an election year in China. So based on the information that we have, it's pretty clear the direction that the Chinese government is going to go, their priority of which is going to be mostly in their favor. I'm going to break it down for you here. So number one priority we're estimating is the people of China who contracted houses or apartments. Number two is going to be your banks, your government debts.
Chinese banks.
Yes, Chinese banks. Sorry, thank you. Number three is going to be other Chinese entities who have loaned money to Evergrande. And then fourth is international banks, investment corporations. And this is if there's anything left over, which we're kind of seeing it's probably not going to be that much.
The piggy bank is empty.
Yeah.
So
China's property market has crashed 64% in the last 2 months, and now Evergrande is nationalized by the Chinese government and is allowed to operate for now, but only to liquidate their assets, pay their debt, and finish apartments and houses and deliver them to the people. So for 2021, the conclusion is that Evergrande's debt is calculated to be in excess of $330 billion USD. And if that debt is not paid, that $330 billion will have a ripple effect across the global economy, including Canada and US.
Okay, so we got a question here. So the Canadian holdings will likely not get paid and they will be left outstanding, ? That's absolutely correct. So thanks, Cheryl, for that question. Yeah, the Chinese will pay them own selves first and their banks first, absolutely. And then, yeah, so that's why we're listing these creditors, because I was shocked myself at how many Canadians are involved in this and the staggering amount. Royal Bank alone, 115 million that they will not be able to recover. So you watch, even Royal Bank stock, I bet, will take a hit. But again, I'm not a financial advisor and I don't have a license. So don't do anything just on my advice, right? Please do your own research. All right. So sorry, I interrupted you again.
That's okay. I was just going to remind people again, if you're just joining us, to get that Wealthsimple Cash app. I think you had something to say about that.
Yeah. So first of all, Jaron, you are today's winner. So Jaron, if you download Wealthsimple Cash, we are going to give you the $25 today. So congratulations.
You know what, Brad? I haven't downloaded the app yet.
You don't have Wealthsimple Cash?
I can't believe it. I haven't downloaded the app yet. So you have to tell me how to do it.
All right. So for those of you that have an iPhone, you just go to Apple's store and download Wealthsimple Cash. Now, Wealthsimple has another investing platform.
And that's wealth with a TH, right?
Yeah.
Wealth.
WELTH. Yeah. Wealthsimple, all one word.
Okay.
And there's if you watch our other videos, you will have seen that we talk about Wealthsimple, the program, where that's how we're building our whole financial house here.
Okay.
So that's a whole nother video. If you want to watch it, go to the list of videos, you can see it. But today, download Wealthsimple Cash. So you have an Android, right?
I do. And Jaron just said he hasn't downloaded the app yet. But you know what, Jaron? You got to go and download that app so that you can get the free $25. And then plus,
you'll get $10 from the company.
Exactly. So today you earn $35 just for coming and checking out YouTube, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So download the app, Jaron, and I will send you your $25. Plus, you'll get $10 from Wealthsimple if you use our link in the description below, right? So use our link in the description below and use our code, and you will get $10. So we'll send you that out, and thanks for doing that. And Rachel, you can download. So how on Android, where do you go to download?
So on Android, we use the Play Store. So I would just go on and search the Wealthsimple app and then get it downloaded.
Okay.
And then, so is it fairly easy to use?
Yep. So Wealthsimple, if you already have Wealthsimple from your computer, you'll use the same login.
Oh, okay.
But if you don't have that, then you'll have to use a login. And folks, I just want to remind you that all financial stuff, it's what we call KYC, know your client, right? So people are going to go, hey, Brad, I had to load up my driver's license, take a picture of myself, and give my social insurance number. What am I doing here? Am I going to get a call from some cruise operator in Barbados? No, you're not. Excuse me, because the financial state in Canada is all regulated and registered. It's what we call KYC, know your client. So Wealthsimple has there you go. You found it.
I did, and I'm downloading it as we speak.
Okay. So Wealthsimple has a responsibility to know their client, because if you make money, so let's say you have capital gains or something, that has to be reported to Revenue Canada.
What are capital gains again?
Oh, Rachel.
I know.
We're going to talk
We have a lot
that.
of work. I mean, that's a whole other.
Basically, what it means is you made so much money that the government wants to tax it.
But I don't ever make that much money.
Oh, you're going to be surprised.
Oh, okay.
You're
well,
gonna
we'll
be
get there.
surprised.
We'll get there in
Yeah.
another video.
Now-
so you guys, I can open it up now.
Yeah. So if you don't have a lot of money at the end of the year, you'll get that back.
Okay.
Usually.
Cool.
But for people who make a lot of money, they have to pay tax on their capital gains.
Definitely
So-
not me.
And if you watch our other videos, you're going to know how to build your financial house, right? Okay. So that's cool. So another comment here. Jaron, you got the app. Excellent. All right. Yeah, a little scary at the same time. I know, because you're giving out your personal information, but believe you me, we've done our research. We know who Wealthsimple is. They are regulated by the Canadian government. And so that's why, by the way, I think some of you may have noticed that Binance is pulling out of Ontario. Now, apparently they're not pulling out of the whole of Canada. I did not know that till today. But I moved everything out of Binance because Binance decided they did not want to report all that stuff to the Canadian government. So the Canadian government said, fine, we'll tax you on every transaction, which is not fair. But Binance said, okay, we're leaving. So but I found out today, apparently it's only Ontario that they're doing that in. The rest of Canada may still be able to stay with Binance. But anyway, so but we've done our research with Wealthsimple. You will be safe, and the government is regulating it, so they have access to all that Revenue Canada revenue in there. They must report it to them. So
yes, Evergrande is extremely scary because they own so much money.
Yes.
Like more money than I could ever count in a million years.
We were using the B word there.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars. And that's why, folks, I think, like I'm not a financial guru, but you remember when Lehman Brothers went down in 2008, it took us over a year to recover from that. So hang on to your hats here, folks. I think we're just starting to see the beginning of this ripple effect as it starts to ricochet around the world, because this is a huge financial collapse with a lot of people investing real money that is never going to be recovered. So, so that's good. So let's just talk a little bit just before we get ready to close up today about what's coming. So
Okay.
What's next?
Well, we will be live again on Wednesday night at 7 with Brad.
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit more about my story, and also on Wednesday nights we'll do a little bit more on actual financial stuff. So like, what are capital gains?
So all the things that I need to be watching then.
We can talk about it. Yeah, and then Rachel,
yes,
on Friday night's going to be your night.
It will be my night.
And what are we going to do for you?
You guys are going to watch my journey in learning more about investing and financial stuff, because honestly, I don't know very much.
So guys, I'm my story.
Typical millennial.
And that's it. I am 60 years old and can't retire because I didn't do it right. But I've learned a lot of stuff, and we're sharing that with you on the channel. All right. Rachel starting out her journey. I don't want her to be like me. And we're going to make a bold statement here today, guys. Do you think we can take Rachel from $0 today to $100,000 by the end of 2022? You think we can do that?
I don't know.
If we learn how to invest, we're going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
So Friday night,
I'm okay
people
giving it a shot for sure.
Yeah. Friday night, people can tune in and watch how, and they don't teach this stuff in high school.
No,
right?
Well, no, that was the thing. And like, I never really did well in math and stuff like that. But like, even, what's it called? Oh my gosh, the politics and everything. Like they don't really teach you
No.
any of the life stuff that you need to know.
And let me
How
ask you a
to
question.
invest to get a mortgage, like all that stuff. Like I don't know how to do that stuff.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Right now, living every day,
Mm-hmm.
is there more money at the end of the month or more month at the end of the money?
You mean
Do you have
my
enough money to
overdraft
make
is
it?
well used. My overdraft is constantly
No,
there. For
I'm
a friend.
laughing because you know why I'm laughing?
Yes.
Because I lived my whole life that way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to change that for people.
Mhm.
All right. And so that's why we've asked Rachel to come and join our channel because, yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes, but we want to try and fix that for Rachel. And so Friday night will be her night.
Jaron says he's got more months too. So you know what, Jaron, you need to come on your journey with me, and then maybe we can hear your story at the end of my story too.
Yeah. And Jaron, I have my phone here with the app, and I have $25 ready to go, buddy. So when you download that app and get on there, I will see you, and then I'll be able to send you your $25. And so for next week, folks, don't forget, Monday night, $25 free. And to anybody else who's with us today, download Wealthsimple Cash, and you get $10 from the company. Now that can be withdrawn.
Really? Oh, so that means everyone who's watching
gets
$10. So you guys just made $10.
Yes. If you use our code, so Jaron, you'll get $10 for free from the company. I think it's 3 business days before you can take that out. But the whole idea is that you get Wealthsimple, the big program, and watch our video on how we're investing. And you guys, what did Warren Buffett say? It's more important to invest and invest continually than how much you invest. It's that you make more money doing that.
Yeah, I like this plan.
Okay. So, hey, YouTube, it's been great having you with us tonight. Thanks so much for being with us in our new live show. Rachel, thank you for joining me. This is way more fun than me sitting here. So I'm enjoying this immensely. So thanks, Rachel, for enjoying us. We'll look forward to it in the future. But hey, YouTube, you know my saying, keep it in the green. And we'll see you again next week, Monday live, Wednesday night. Whenever we release a video, hit that little bell so you know when we're coming to you. So thanks a lot, YouTube. Have a great night, and we'll see you later.